What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the Everything is Stupid podcast. I'm your host, Jace, Caton, and I'm absolutely thrilled that you guys decided to stop by and join us today. I'm joined once again by my co-host, Chase, Lueke, and Alec Sells. Say what's up, boys.
What's up, boys and girls?
There we go. We usually start off with an article, but I think this week we're going to start off with something that happened to Alec this week. He works at a Jersey Mike's here, just whipping up some sandos for you fine people, and he had a really interesting interaction with a couple of patrons, didn't you there?
Oh, yeah, man. So, it never fails. People try to come somewhere before they're open or be there right when they open. That's just, people got a busy day, I guess, right? So hours changed due to COVID and all this stuff, and we open later than usual now. So I get there at 8 in the morning to start opening. I had a woman show up at 9 o'clock, and she was just waiting outside the front door. And mind you, I don't have any bread ready. I don't have anything ready. And she's just standing at the door. And I thought she'd know since all the lights are off except the backlight, like, hey, maybe they're not open and ready. I was like standing there making bacon, waiting to see if she would leave. And she didn't. So then she goes to the car and gets the rest of her family and a dog out of the car and stands by my front door. And I was like, what is going on? So I finally go over to the door. I unlock it. I open it. And she starts to try to walk in with this dog. And I was like, whoa, ma'am. We still are not open for another 2 hours. And she's like, what do you mean not open for 2 hours? I was like, ma'am, it's 9 a.m.
Why do you want a sandwich this early? I mean, I guess she could have been picking up something for work for lunch, but still, like, her whole family, they were like, let's go have a sandwich for breakfast.
With their dog, too, man. Who brings a dog
the whole family
into a food establishment?
They brought the whole family, dude.
Not even a service dog, no jacket, nothing. Just this little 20-pound dog.
Just some regular-ass dog along for the ride. Some average dog.
He looked happy, but,
I mean, like, were they just taking the chance that, like, you guys did breakfast sandwiches? Like, if it's a whole family, they're, like, coming for, like, a dine-in meal.
No,
like,
I think they were wanting sandwiches. She got mad at me that I wouldn't serve her 2 hours early. She's like, you don't have anything ready for me? You can't make anything right now? And I was like, ma'am, I don't open for 2 hours. I don't even have bread, anything. And they're just, give me the Karen scoff. Well, I guess we'll have to take our business elsewhere. Okay.
Yeah, I guess we'll go to Subway and wait for our kids to interact with Jared. But that's hilarious. Yeah. Some people just feel entitled, dude. Like, I was telling you guys the other day, I had a guy outside of 7-Eleven that stopped me and, like, wouldn't let me in the store. He was, like, blocking it. Didn't work there. Just a random guy that pretty much stood in front of the door and was like, you're not going to hit the hand sanitizer? And I was like, no, I'm not going to hit the hand sanitizer outside of 7-Eleven. Like, what do you think is the most disgusting thing that's been touched by the most nasty hands in a 20-mile radius besides that hand sanitizer that's stuck with suction cups to the outside of 7-Eleven? But, like, I get people are taking this virus seriously, and they should. But I just feel like at a certain point, like, some people just, like, there needs to be, like, a common ground of, like, I get that this is happening. So, like, I'm going to be okay with, like, you walking around with your face covered in a bandana. And, like, maybe you be okay if I decide not to take a bath in hand sanitizer before I go to the grocery store.
Yeah, I think there's got to be the common ground of, like, who are you to play hero right now? Like, you live yours, I'll live mine, and let's do what we do without.
Let's just get through this, man. Like, exactly. You don't got to sit there and tell me I'm entitled. Like, we're both grown adults. You can make decisions too. Like, I'm not entitled. I just did what every single human being in America can do, which is make decisions for myself. Like, that's not that wild. But I guess we all have decisions in life to make. And moving into the first article, the headline here. Is after this guy's cat passed away, in order to honor the cat's life, he put him on a drone so he could fly around with the birds that he was chasing. And the picture is we talked about the guy strapping the bomb or whatever to the DJI last week, but the picture is literally just a cat on top of not even a DJI. It's one of these like knockoff, like the $150 drones you see everywhere. And the cat, it's not only taped to the top, but it also has all 4 of its limbs spread to each of the propellers. So it's not just like laying limp over the top of this drone. Like he's stretched out both arms and both legs and tied them to where he looks like he's in a cat suit, like those Red Bull cat suit videos or whatever, the squirrel suits.
Oh my!
Like he looks like he's in one of those. Like why? I mean, part of me has to think, and it doesn't give much detail into whether or not this guy was like genuine or whether he just thought this was hilarious, which you're going to make one group mad either way. Like you're either going to make PETA mad because you strapped a dead cat to a drone, or you're going to make other people just weirded out because you thought this is what your cat would have wanted. But I don't know. I feel like people get a little too attached to like pet deaths, and I get that like they're a big part of our lives and they stay with us for a long time. Like, I mean, you could have a dog for 15 years. That's longer than I've been friends with some people. But like, still, like, why would this be the first go-to? Like, do you think this was his first thought? He's like, I'm gonna strap him to my drone, or do you think he like slowly watched the cat die and was like, what would he want? Like, really pondered the existence of this cat.
One last hunt, buddy.
One last hunt.
No, it's
We're
like a
sending
Viking
you to the
burial,
gulag,
dude. They send him off in the canoe, set it on fire. I mean, honestly, he should have gotten together with the failed ISIS members with the bomb and just like flown it
just
up
bring the
and
cat back to him.
Fireworks.
That's funny.
Oh
Yeah,
my!
like, I mean, some people love their animals. I get it. This just seems like a little out there. Like, and once again, like, we're gonna work on getting some video down the road. Like, I wish you guys could see this picture, but it's the most absurd thing, and it also looks like he's taped the cat's eyes open, so as if it weren't already bad
Good
enough.
Lord. FBI, watch
the cat's
this guy.
eyes are taped open. The FBI, it's like those memes where your FBI agent texts you and he's just like, stop what you're doing. Like, just stop.
Come on,
You
man.
taped your dead cat's eyes open. Stop.
Yeah. I mean, there's not a whole lot to dissect in this story. It's just people being stupid. So we'll transfer out of it. But I saw that, and it's a little media driven. It's a little driven by that photo, but I think you guys still get the gist. Like, imagine your neighbor flies his drone up over the fence. First of all, you're like, what are you filming? And second of all, you're like, there's a cat strapped to that drone. So don't really know how to react. But let's get into one of you guys' articles. Alec or Chase, do you guys want to start us off?
Alec, alphabetical order, you go first.
All right. So I got one that just seems like super. It's a Trendster article. So it happens in Silicon Valley.
Okay.
And these hipsters, trendsters, whatever you want to call them, pay $25 a bottle for quote unquote raw water. These guys, the founder of it says, the first time I drank fresh living spring water, Live Water founder Mukande Singh, a surge of energy and peacefulness entered my being. I could never go back to drinking dead water again. So now water is alive and
he's on a
dead.
He knows something we don't know, man. Like, the whole idea of bottled water is wild. Like, the fact that, like, it essentially, like, I thought I was reading somewhere that, like, essentially the Coca-Cola company started Dasani when they weren't selling Coke because like there was some health kick or some nonsense like that. And it's literally like the same thing as if you were to like put water through a Brita and that's it. Like, there's nothing special. They're essentially selling you what you could get out of like your, I don't know, your fridge. It's no different.
This water's alive.
Of course, what's up?
No, this water's alive. You can feel it coursing through every single organ in your body. It invigorates
all the
you
E.
with every
coli
passing
and-
second.
That's
You're
exactly
becoming
right
stronger
here.
and
It says
stronger.
the firm has been selling untreated, unfiltered, unsterilized drinking water. And the crazy part is the company has they've profited $24 million off of this already. And they started
on
taking
Shark Tank?
gallons of it to Burning Man Festival.
That's the place to go.
That's what I mean. And they sell these for, what is it, a 2.5 gallon for $60.99.
Jeez.
$60.99 for 2.5 gallons of
why 2.5 gallons
water.
That's such a random. That's such a random. Like, why not make it 3 gallons, or why not just do a 1 gallon jug? Like how? Like, is that the size of those weird like things that you can buy that have like the tap on them? Is that what size? Like the Ozark
I think,
ones
because it
or
says
whatever?
a 2.5 gallon glass orb.
Oh, it comes
Of
in a
course,
glass
it's got to
orb.
be in an orb.
Yeah, it can't be a jug. It's got to be
No
an
LED
orb.
lights.
Spiritual water.
Ugh. Leave it to California, man. But I guess if they're in Silicon Valley, they probably got more money than they know what to do with. So
That's what I mean.
they're just hanging
man.
out, spending it on life water or whatever. They like kind of on that same subject. I was listening to the radio today, and apparently Tom Brady is coming out with some like immuno like booster supplement called Protect, and like they were talking about it, and apparently he has to like make a whole bunch of claims saying that this will not fight COVID, but the rest of it is like, this will boost your immune system, like keep you healthy. And it's like the craziest thing ever. People profit off people's stupidity, and I don't have a problem with that. That's capitalism at work. But it is a little wild that, I mean, I guess there is a group of people for everything, right? Like someone thinks it's cool to be a furry. Someone thinks it's cool to like code games or applications. That's tight. Like some people think it's cool to do whatever, play Dungeons and Dragons, play Xbox. It doesn't matter. Like it's whatever you want to do. But the fact that it's the rave review, like how are you that into a product that you get charged that much for? They sound like the coffee people, like the coffee snobs, where they're like, you can't go back. Like once you've taken an hour and a half to make 1 cup of coffee with a pour over, like you can't go back to like a Keurig. But
that's too much.
I'm telling you, dude. I worked at a place where the guys were like, "You want a cup of coffee?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." Like hook it up. And then like an hour later, they walk over with a cup of coffee, and I'm like, "Dude, I've already had 3 cups of Keurig coffee. Like I don't even want it anymore."
Yeah, you're like, bro, I'm up.
Did I go on a wait list or what happened here? But hit us with your first one there, Cheese. Let's keep it moving.
All right, so this one I got. So in Ethiopia, Ethiopia says it shot down a coronavirus aid plane, believing it was on a suicide mission. And yeah, so they have the capability. They have ground-to-air defense in Ethiopia. That's surprising. That's interesting. And also, apparently, they have suicide bombers. Like they must have weekly Pearl Harbors or something. Like this is a threat for them. Suicide plane bombings and. To the point where they're shooting it down without even asking questions. Turns out it was just coronavirus aid trying to help.
We're trying to help you. Like, please stop. Yeah. That's where they finally are like, why is no one helping us? And then the one guy with internet is like, hey guys, have you seen these headlines? Like apparently we keep shooting these aid planes down. Like they're just not sending anymore.
So it was a Kenyan plane. So it was flying from, neighboring, pretty close by country, sending planes over to help you, and you're knocking them down.
Maybe it was pride then. Maybe Ethiopia was like, we don't need your help, Kenya. Like, why do you guys worry about you?
Yeah, and it was right by so apparently it says it was shot down right by the airport too. It was like there was no precautions. They're like, my God, what is this?
It's not like landing low in the middle of the Serengeti.
For the airstrip. They're like, my God, no one's landed here in 3 weeks. Shoot it down.
Shoot it down. Can't be good.
Now.
Oh, man. It was probably the guy that got kicked from that ISIS fleet that he's now running the airstrip over here in Ethiopia, and he's just all worried all the time.
Just super paranoid.
Why did they think it was a suicide mission? I don't like. That has
you don't hear about that over there.
More than we know, dude.
Like, yeah, we're so focused on ISIS, we're not even hearing about the copious amounts of suicide bombers that are flying into Ethiopian airports, apparently.
Please just give us a break. Let us rest. Where do these planes keep coming from?
What are these things in the sky? Take it down. Take it down. It's the devil. But sticking on the kind of in the same continent here, actually in the same region here, one of the articles I pulled up, the headline is Kenyan officials say newly homosexual lions learn to be gay from copying gay tourists from America. So this is what I'm imagining, and this is, I don't even want to get into the article. This is all I'm imagining. So these tourists go on these, like, they get in the car and they like do the tour, right? Like some guy like just drives them around and points and he's like, that's a giraffe, that's a lion, like roar. And like, what are they doing on these tours that they're copying? Like, is there just like hecka fornicating on these little trips through the wild? Like, what are these guys doing? But I am going to go ahead and send in the chat this picture while we keep going because the headline's incredible. But the picture is just as good because they got a picture of the action. I'm not sure if this is National Geographic, but it was definitely worth taking a photo of. But still, like, I mean, okay, so I guess I could see, like, there's been a lot of studies that go about like how animals can kind of learn from humans. They've like done it with monkeys or whatever, where like they can pick up on traits, or like dogs understand that like if you like get the bag of food, like they react a certain way. But like to even think that like lions are gay because they've witnessed, and it's even more funny because they solely mention American tourists. Like what are these dudes doing in these tours of the plains that these cats are copying?
Dude, that picture.
I mean, dude, it's that lion's getting after it. But
I don't know,
really,
it's like
though,
a Saharan safari, Serengeti safari couples retreat thing.
yeah, that's where they blame it, and they don't realize they've had like they misspelled like some kind of word that was like a promo code, and like it now is gay, and so all these people like get on and they're like, oh, they're very gay friendly over here, and then they don't realize that like they're just over there like getting weird and like teaching their lions bad traits, bad habits.
Come down to the safari.
Use promo code gay. We are all happy over here. 20% off. Come see us. Oh man. Yeah. I don't know. It's animals are an interesting thing to talk about because they definitely do mimic us, but I think this guy might just be like in a very, very conservative part of town, and they're like, yo, like we gave you one job, like watch over these lions. And he's like, I don't know, man, like it must have been like the gay tourists. Like he just like blamed it on like the first thing he could think of. Oh.
Lions are
been those guys kissing when they came through.
And eating
lions
nothing
and tigers
but
and
fast
bears.
food.
Oh my!
Fucking Americans.
Yeah. Oh man. What you got for us next, Alec? Let's move on from this one because I'm just staring at the picture at this point. It's hard for me to even think of words.
All right, so keeping with a little bit of nature, I got something about Yellowstone Park and a woman out there who was there during this whole COVID going on. So this is fairly recent. She was out there, shut down, and she fell into a boiling geyser while trying to take a selfie after breaking into Yellowstone.
R.I.P. to the gram, man.
So she survives, but she sneaks in and it's closed down. So she had to get, it says right here, the woman subsequently drove 50 miles after falling in with severe burns before she can finally come into contact with a park ranger.
What do you say to that park ranger? Hey man, I messed up. I made a mistake.
I'm not supposed to be here, but I can't feel anything, man. I need help.
You are not going to believe this, man. So I was just like driving, man, and like next thing you know, it's just like skin boiled. I don't know what happened. It's a gnarly sunburn or something. It's 1 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, it said she kept backing up because they went through, I guess, her phone. She tossed it when she fell in. So the videos were still on. No, the videos were still on there. Oh. So they're watching them, and she keeps backing up and like trying to take photos closer and closer to the geyser. And then she ends up slipping and just tossing her phone over the ledge.
Imagine going through all that and you didn't even get like your narcissistic selfie that you were trying to post with like #rebel or whatever that she was going for. You got third-degree burns.
Spirit.
Renegade spirit. #COVID can't hold me.
I swear, I fell into a geyser. Yeah, picture it didn't happen. I don't believe.
Yeah. Well, my phone fell in the geyser with me. Yeah, okay, Carol.
Dude,
yeah,
I was
we
just
definitely
2 years, a year and a half ago, and I'm pretty sure like all the main geysers, like the ones like, I mean, you would fall into are built around. They have like fences around them. It's like an attraction. It's a very big tourist location.
So, I mean, I think there's a certain level of stupid that was involved too.
Yeah, that's what it says on here is, one guy fell in and the temperatures were like 205 degrees. And after a day, his body was literally disintegrated. And then someone else fell in, they made it out. But it's like the Old Faithful, the famous main geyser of Yellowstone. So, yeah, she had to do some friggin' jumping over fences like...
Yeah, what'd she think? She was just like tripping over very weirdly laying trees. She's like, man, like these trees really resemble a fence. Like, that's weird. I'm going to keep going.
Old Faithful's got a lot of land too, dude. You got to like run. Like, it's there. You see it. It's going. It's chugging and churning. And it's like, something very deeply intrinsically within you as a human being is like, I shouldn't go near that. The air reeks of sulfur. It's getting warmer and warmer. And this lady's like, nah, I'm going in that.
Do they radiate heat that much? Like when you were there, could you like feel the heat like looking at it?
Yeah, and it reeks.
So you're just like, oh man, I hit a hot patch of air. Like I don't know what's happening here, but I'm gonna keep going. Crazy weather, man. Global warming.
Comes in waves.
Jeez. Well, what you got for us next, Cheese?
I got a St. Louis County restaurant faces fierce backlash over a racist piñata. And so like racist piñata, I'm like, okay, it's gonna be something racist towards Hispanic. Piñata, and it's got like the most stereotypical Asian face on it with like a rice field hat on and like a Fu Manchu mustache.
They got Mr. Miyagi and a piñata.
Yeah, this is probably a good idea. There's no such thing as bad publicity, right? Let's fly this thing.
Oh my god!
Just hanging there right at the front cashier or cash register by all the cups they hand out. Camilla's Tex-Mex. It's Mexicans.
It was a Mexican food place.
Mexicans being racist against Chinese people. Oh, for once,
what a time to be alive.
For once, it's not us white people.
We still haven't gotten over Pearl Harbor. Gee,
it turns out the Mexicans were severely afflicted by Pearl Harbor for some reason, and instead of taking it out on Japan, they took it out on China.
They're so misguided. They get here, they go into the piñata shop, and they're like, yes, the rice man. And they're like, we know what you need. And then they sell it in their store. But, I mean, that or they're trying to, get ahead of it. They're like, oh, all these gringos, have these super kind of edgy, racist Mexican piñatas. Let's spread the love around. And instead of, getting the white man that they think they're getting, they just got some Asian dude that's just, chilling, just living a cool life. And now he doesn't even know he should be getting royalties on a piñata that was made after him. Jeez. I mean, okay, when was the last time... I feel like I see more stories involving piñatas than I've ever seen piñatas in my life. I've maybe been to, when I was 5, I think I only went to, one birthday party that had a piñata. That just wasn't a thing. Did you guys have that growing up? Was that like kind of staple of?
No, I've maybe seen like 2 to 3. It's not a whole lot of them, that's for sure.
I mean, I would buy this one though in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fill it with candy or anything. It would be like the one decoration hanging on my wall. I'd have like I don't know, like guitars hanging on the wall, and then just a giant piñata that would confuse the heck out of people. And they would not know why I had it. And I'd slowly move it closer and closer to like the living room. And then next thing you know, it's just a TV and a Chinaman on my wall. Jeez. It's, I don't know. Some people think of dumb stuff, and it kind of makes for the best things to buy. But I guess that brings us to our weekly Florida man here. Got an article here. Florida man spits food into woman's mouth during road rage incident. And I do want to read you guys some of this article because it's pretty saucy. It says Pineda County Sheriff's deputies arrested David Paul Whipperman, 61, Thursday on felony battery charges in an October 29th incident. An arrest report says Whipperman got into a road rage incident with a woman that evening. He got out of his truck, approached the woman's vehicle, deputies say. She rolled down her window and apologized to Whipperman, according to deputies. The report says Whipperman spit food he was chewing at her through the open door and screamed at her. Some of the food made it into the woman's mouth. The Tampa Bay Times reports it isn't clear why this took several weeks to arrest him. Whipperman remained in jail Friday morning. Jail records show that he doesn't have a lawyer.
What the hell, man? Keep that guy on a tighter leash. Like, don't let him out. That's unhinged. That is fully unhinged.
He was on his way home with a piñata he was super stoked about and just got a little overheated.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir.
I wish it would have said, like, I wish they would have got the details on what he was eating, because that does change, like, the allure and kind of the effect of the story. Like, it's one thing if he was like chewing on beef jerky and he just spit beef jerky, but like if he had like chicken noodle soup or like chicken and dumplings and something and he just spit like this soggy biscuit juice all at this woman. Dude, what do you do if you're that woman? She's like, they're like, I'm so sorry, like I apologize, like this is my fault, and you just get coated in food.
Throw up on
and the guy didn't even stop to finish swallowing before he got out. Like, you would think if you're getting into an argument, first thing you do is clear your mouth, but I guess he had other plans.
Oh yeah,
like beef jerky, sunflower seeds, that's understandable.
Just a mouth of sunflower seeds?
Some eggplant parmesan that he was just like munching on the way home from work.
He's got a fork and a knife on his lap, and that's why he's mad. His eggplant parmesan spilled everywhere. That's why he's all sauced up. It's like not a road food at all. Like maybe like even a Chipotle burrito was pushing it, and this man like drove through Olive Garden and was like, yeah, let me get an eggplant parm to go, and I'm gonna need silverware.
I think that gives you full legal right to just roll up your window and try to run that guy down with your car.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's Florida. That probably is a law. Like if a man spits chicken parmesan or eggplant parmesan at you and it hits you, you then have the right to kill said man with your motor vehicle of choice.
You can mow him down in broad daylight.
Well, that and like they had all this guy's details, and it says like it took several weeks to arrest him. Like, do these people not have better sheriffs? Like, it took 3-4 weeks to find a guy that spit food into a lady's
mad
face.
Elusive, bro. He's a serial
61. 61. He's the most elusive. Oh man, I don't know. Florida is its own thing, but they never cease to amaze us. We'll go ahead and wrap up on that. Thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Everything is Stupid. Once again, I'm your host, Jace Caton, joined by the homies Alec Sells and Chase Lueke. We did love it that you did stop by and listen with us for a few minutes today. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Peace.
Later.
Deuces.